Hi, I'm Diogo, and today's video is about this guy here, the Distomped from the Brazilian developer Audio Fusion Bureau. Despite its not so usual interface, you will see that it's a pretty capable ampsim. Hope you guys enjoy it, and welcome to Diogo's Hideout. And before we proceed any further, let me talk about two things with you. First, even that the things are pointing for another tough year, I wish you guys a great 2022. Second, I have no affiliation with Audio Fusion Bureau. They sent me this plugin about 3 weeks ago and I'm testing it since then. But they didn't ask me for this review or anything like that. So everything I say here is my own words about this plugin, right? As you could see, I used my GRS Custom for recording the song, plug it direct into the IK Multimedia Zenfone DI, into the audio interface, the Steinberg UR22 Mark II. In this video, I will show you guys an overview of this plugin, showing everything it has packaged inside, and then I will show you guys the session I used to record that song you just listened to. Let's take a look. Guys, and now let's take a look here at the Distomped. That is the plugin I used for the guitars of the song. As soon as you open this plugin, this is the main interface that is shown to you. Here, in the upper left corner, you have the version of the plugin that is currently installed. Here you have the on and off button. Here you have the presets of the plugin. The main one is this have default, where you will also have the shred vencel, that is like shred wins, and the fuzzback. These were the three presets that came in this version I have here of the Distomped. But for this song, I created my own presets. The Ogre Growl for the rhythms, and the Ogre Scream for the solos. Then, here you have this save button for saving your presets. Here you have the remove to remove the presets you don't want to keep here anymore. And here you have the control for the window size. It goes from 50% to 200%. Here in the left side you can control if it will be running in mono or stereo. You have here the control of the input signal. Here you have the inbuilt tuner. Here you have the gain. That is this main interface here that shows the Clockwork Twins pedal. Then you have the EQ. And last, you have the cab plus effects. And here in the right side, we can see this line out, default cab and custom cab. We will talk about these controls later. Now let's focus on each part of this plugin. Here in the gain session, we have the Clockwork Twins that acts like a kind of preamp for this plugin. We have here the gate controls, gate threshold, time, and attenuation. We have here the volume of the session. And here we have these three controls for the gain itself. We have here the fuzz control, the distortion control, and the blend of the fuzz and the distortion. And here the on and off for both the fuzz and distortion. Now let's take a look at the EQ session. You can see this EQ session looks like a pedal tool, and it's called Sculptor. And we have here a tube drive emulation that you can turn it on and off. Then you have the equalization, that is a graphic EQ with 24 bands that you can boost or cut, and you can turn it on and off too. And you have here the output control for this EQ session. The lack of control of the tonality of the fuzz and the distortion we have in the last session, we have here with this graphic equalizer. This equalizer makes this plugin really versatile. And then we have the last session of the plugin where we can find the effects and the cab. Talking about the effects here, we can see that we have a reverb, a delay, a format filter, and the wizard that is a stereo widener. Both the reverb, the delay, and the format filter you can find in another plugin from Audio Fusion Bureau called Neutrox 2. And the wizard is a free plugin from them. Finally, here in the left side we have these two buttons. One is the on and off for the rack of effects, and the other called line in. You can use it to take advantage of the internal effects without needing to use the internal cab. And speaking about the internal cab, we have here two speakers, each one with its own mic. You can choose the position of the mic in front of the speaker. You can choose the distance of the mic from the speaker, and we can decide the panning for each one of the mics. And here in the right side, as we already talked earlier, we have here the output controls of this plugin. And what's the meaning of these three controls here? The line out we will use when we want to send the output of this plugin to an stereo impulse response loader. The default cab we use when we want to control the output of the inbuilt cab of this plugin. And the custom cab control we use when we are loading stereo impulse responses inside of Distomped. So this is it. This was the overview of the Distomped. Now let's take a look at the session. As I will split this video in two parts, one for each plugin, in this moment I will discuss only the Distomped, that was the plugin that I used for all of the guitars of this song, and then in another video I will talk about the Ghost in a Drum Shell, that was the plugin I used to program the drums. So here is the session. You will see that I didn't mix this song and barely processed the tracks. So let's take a look here first what's happening in the master bus. As you can see, I'm using only the Lamina, that is the limiter from Audio Fusion Bureau, and the rear stream to send the audio to OBS. That's all, pretty simple. Then we have here the drums part, but as I told you earlier, I won't pay attention to the drums in this video. So now let's take a look here at the bass bus. As you can see in the bass bus, the only plugin I'm using is the JST clip. And you will be able to see too that I am using two tracks for the bass sound. And for both, I use the Submission Audio Grove bass and the same programming. The differences are in the settings used in the plugins. Let's take a look. This first one is used for the clean bass tone. Here we have the contact loading the Submission Audio Grove bass. And for this tone, I'm using the preset Clean, Thick and Dark, followed by the double tap, also from Submission Audio. Here are the settings. And Nova Gentleman Edition, only for cutting everything below 60 Hz. The other track is for the dirty bass, and I'm using the same three plugins, only the settings are different. We have here Grove Bass 2, but now to achieve a distorted bass sound, I used the Distomped preset as a basis, and then I done some changes in the mixer to create the sound I was looking for. Then we have the double tap and Nova Gentleman Edition again, but here doing a cut of everything below 80 Hz. And that is the bass sound for the entire song. Now, let's take a look at the guitar bus. In the guitar bus itself, we only have, again, the JST clip. And then we have here 3 guitar tracks, one for the left, one for the right, and the solo. The left and the right guitars are almost the same, being the difference the panning that I'm using a plugin for that. Also, let me show you guys the plugins. I'm using the input effects of Reaper to already commit into the sound. I'm using here the Sound Device DI Fix, the Kush Red DI, and Nova Gentleman Edition, cutting everything below 100 Hz. I used this in the input effects for all guitar tracks. And now, let's take a look at these tracks. We have here the Retune, Dirty Machine from Audio Assault. I'm using this Clone Booster preset I created. And here we have the star of the show. In Distomped, for both left and right guitars that are the rhythm guitars, I'm using the preset I created called Ogre Growl. Let me show you guys what's happening here. Settings for the gate, volume, fuzz, the blend knob, distortion, input. I'm not using line out or custom cab. I'm using just the default cab with this volume here. Then here at the sculpture, that's the setting of the drive knob, the output, and this is the equalization I'm using. And here in the last session of the plugin, the cab and effects, you can see I'm not using any of the built-in effects. And here in the cab you can see the position, the distance and the panning of each one of the mics. Then we have again Nova Gentleman Edition, cutting everything below 100 Hz. Then we have here Nembrini Analog Cleaner, VU Meter, and CAD-PAN, that is the Nebula library I'm using to control the panning of the guitar. And so that is it. As both rhythm guitar tracks share the same plugin chain, with only the panning at CAD-PAN making them different, this is the main rhythm guitar sound of the entire song. And to finish this overview of the session, let's take a closer look at what's happening in the guitar solo track. You'll be able to see I've done some processing in this track, but even so, not that much. Retune again, Dirty Machine, same preset. Then we have here Distomped, but now we're using the Ogre Scream preset I created. Let me show you guys the settings for the volume, gate, fuzz, the blend knob, distortion. Again, I'm using only the default cab. Here the EQ settings. As you can see, it's almost the same of the other preset. And here I've done some changes in the mics for the cab, and I've used the stereo widener, the wizard, just a bit. Then we have London Acoustics Brighton, it's an Optotube comp. I'm using it to try to make the guitar more even for the solo. That's the settings. Then Nova Gentleman Edition. Here I'm cutting a lot more frequencies. I'm cutting everything below 450 Hz and everything above 6500 Hz. Again, I'm bringing analog cleaner. Then we have here our Arturia tape delay. London Acoustics Type A, it's a tape recorder simulation. The VU meter. And here I'm using CAD Pan 2, but with the panning at the center. And then, this is everything is happening with the guitars of the session. And finally, to finish off this plugin presentation, I'm going to take advantage of the recorded guitar track to make some tweaks in the plugin knobs to help clarify any doubts that still remain. Now let's take a look at my final considerations about this plugin. Despite being original, the interface may not please the most nostalgic ones that would like to see an amp face in the plugin. Another thing I would like to point about this plugin is that it's way versatile, but you need to tweak a bit the equalization to find what you are looking for. One thing I would like to see in this plugin is the possibility to use the fuzz only for the lows and the drive, distortion drive for the mids and treble, to have a more different sound than just the blending of the two kind of drives. But as you could see, it sounds awesome. This plugin is versatile as hell. You can cover a lot of ground with it, using the blend of distortion and fuzz. You have a graphical equalization, you have that tube drive emulation, you have effects, you have two speakers with two different microphones. You can choose the direction, the distance, the panning. I will leave the link for the Distomped in the description. There you can buy it. Its retail price is 49 bucks. You can download the demo to try it for yourself, and you have some more information about it. So guys, this is it. Everything I had to say about this plugin is here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you liked this video, give a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and leave in the comments below everything you like to discuss about it. Okay? See you guys till the next time. Ciao!